What's up, guys? I'm back again with another video twice in the same day because just as I finished recording that video about Khamzat Chimaev pulling out against Robert Whittaker, we got some more bad news from the UFC. Now, we were getting a lot of mixed signals from some media members, from the UFC, from the fighters, from Conor, from Chandler, from Ariel Helwani, who we all thought was just full of it, but now it turns out he was spot on about the main event, the co-main event. The guy's insider info. We all owe him an apology. Anyways, on to the news. Conor is out. What's his face? Hill is out. Chandler's obviously out because he's not going to fight nobody except Conor. Now, that gives us a new and, I would actually say, improved UFC 303 card. Now, obviously, I'm saying this because I haven't spent 10 grand to go see Conor McGregor in person, okay? But Alex Pereira versus Jiri Prochazka, good fight, good rematch. I think that's a well-deserved fight for Jiri, right? I know Alex Pereira just beat him, but there are some calls for early stoppage, and Jiri just looked good against Rakic. We also have a new co-main event since Hill has pulled out. You know, Hill is insufferable, by the way. So insufferable lately. This hurts me more than Conor pulling out, because obviously we all want to see Conor, but like we were kind of anticipating this. But I really, really wanted to see Hill just out cold. Right, because he's been so annoying on Instagram lately. Just take your loss like a true athlete. Just take your loss and shut up. Okay? You lost, bro. Get over it. Stop whining about it. Trying to call out the guy who knocked you out in a round, saying, when I see you next time. Dude, you literally didn't do anything. The most effective thing you did was kick his cup. You're trying to call him out online. You lost. Shut up and get over it. Okay? And now he's pulled out of this fight. New co-main event is Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. This is a very exciting matchup, and I'll take Diego. Actually, we'll talk about predictions later. For now, let's just go through it. Diego Lopes, Brian Ortega, very, very exciting matchup. For me, I was thinking if Diego Lopes was going to get a top 5 matchup, they would give him Yair Rodriguez. I thought that would be a more electric fight, but nevertheless, Brian Ortega, still a fun fight. Hill has pulled out, but Carlos Ulberg is still on the card, so the feature fight is Ulberg versus Anthony Smith. We still have Mayra Bueno Silva versus whoever that girl is. I don't even know what the M stands for. I don't even know who actually, when they think about UFC 303 and they look at the main card, who sits there and goes, yeah, Mayra Bueno Silva. Can't wait for that one. Nobody. Before or after these changes, nobody was dying to see Mayra Bueno Silva. And below that, we still have Ian Gary, Michael Venom Page. They need to shuffle this card around. They really need to shuffle this card around. Put either Joe Pyfer or Peyton Talbot on the main card over Mayra Bueno Silva. No one wants to see her fight. Like, I don't understand what the UFC is doing. Nobody would look at this lineup and say, yeah, make sure Mayra Bueno Silva is on the main card. Nobody cares. But anyways, let's talk about some predictions. Okay? Alex Pereira, short notice title fight. Coming in off a tour in Australia. I saw him on Instagram posting in Australia. Looked like he was chilling. Didn't look like he was training too much. Said he had an injured toe or whatever. Not that big of a deal, but he stepped up to fight Jiri. Now, I'm going to take Alex Pereira because, he just beat Jiri. I think Jiri kind of has earned a rematch. I would have preferred to see Pereira versus a new contender. Maybe like Magomed Ankalaev, but it seems Ankalaev just wants to sit out until Abu Dhabi in October. So if he wants to do that, he's going to miss his shot. Now, against Jiri Prochazka, the first fight was a bit close for those first 2 rounds, right? Jiri had his moments, but at the end of the day, Jiri, out of both of these fighters, whose last fight was UFC 300, so 3 pay-per-views ago, who took the most damage? It's hands down Jiri Prochazka. So if any of them should be considering sitting out, it's Jiri Prochazka. He 8 shots from Rakic, Alexander Rakic. His name's Alexander, right? From Rakic. He ate a lot of shots. His chin held up. But if there's anyone who took more damage in their fight, it was Jiri Prochazka. And another reason I'm going to pick Pereira is because Jiri won against Rakic, but it was not super impressive. It was impressive how he could recover that quickly. But to get tagged up and just, pieced apart for the first round at least, and then for some of the second round, Rakic was lighting him up, but Jiri just persevered. A guy like Pereira, we've seen his power is no joke. Your plan of action cannot be to persevere and to eat damage. Also, Jiri Prochazka just like doesn't believe in the calf kick. Like against Rakic, he just thugged it out. He was like, yeah, no, I'm not going down. Kick my leg. It's right here. Take it. Like it's like when in chess when you make a mistake and you're like, oh yeah, go ahead, take the piece. But on the inside, you're like, don't take the piece. Please do not take the piece. Leave it there. That's kind of what Jiri does. Like he's in this wide stance, doesn't know how to check a leg kick, eats them all the time and acts like, yeah, I love it. Keep it coming. Dude, learn to check a leg kick. Learn to move your leg out of the way. Learn to do something, bro. All he does is just eat them. So against Pereira, that's obviously going to be big. The power is going to be big. And if anyone has taken more damage in their last fight, which was the same amount of time ago, that's Jiri Prochazka. So I'm going to take Pereira in this rematch. Jiri has, had a good fight against Rakic, but I don't think he's done enough to tell us, hey, he's going to beat Pereira this time around. Pereira finished him. A bit of an early stoppage, so it'd be nice to get, a final closure on this. A little bit of an early stoppage. But yeah, I'm very excited for this fight nevertheless, and I think very good fight. Big ups on them for taking on short notice. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopes. I will take Diego Lopes in this because Brian Ortega was dropped badly by Yair, and he looked terrible in the stand-up, and Diego Lopes just finished Sodiq Yusuff with ease. This guy has some crazy power on his hand, or Sodiq... I just hit my table, sorry, my camera might have started to shake a little bit. Hit my table. Anyways, either Sodiq Yusuff has no chin, or Diego Lopes just has hands of steel, and Brian Ortega did not look very good in the stand-up in his last fight. Diego Lopes also has solid grappling. He showed that against Movsar Evloev. So I'm going to take Diego Lopes in this matchup. Very excited, though. Very excited to see Diego Lopes get a big top 5 win and be in line for a title shot. I think Diego Lopes versus either maybe a Movsar rematch. Nobody wants to see that. Or Diego Lopes versus Ilia Topuria. That'd be very good. Because if he beats Brian Ortega, knocks him out cold, he's in the top 5. He's above Movsar. So he's not going to be thinking about the Movsar rematch. Movsar then might start calling him out. But it'll be too little too late. Like Lopes has been calling him out before. And Movsar's been saying no. Once Lopes gets above you in the rankings, you lost your chance. And I think they're going to do Lopes versus Topuria. Or, Lopes versus the winner of Holloway Topuria. Because I think that's the fight they're going to do next. Lopes is going to be in line for a title shot. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay? So I'm very excited for that fight too. Anthony Smith, Carlos Ulberg. Yeah, Smith just got back in the win column against Vitor, the idiot Petrino, who basically stuffed his head into a guillotine. Doesn't know how to wrestle, doesn't know how to fight, doesn't know how to do anything. Bum, I don't know why they let him in the UFC. Anyways, Carlos Ulberg, I'm going to take him by knockout. I think he'll knock out bummy Anthony Smith. But on paper, Anthony Smith wins. Anyways, we'll move on. All these other fights have already been spoken about, so we don't got to talk about them. Yeah, this is the lineup right now for UFC 303. I just gave you your predictions because I realized this fight is actually pretty close. I was thinking I just have to do a reaction video, but this is in like just over 2 weeks. So I really got to just break down these fights for you, give you my predictions about 2 weeks out. I think this card is looking a bit better. Obviously, there's nobody with the star power of Conor, but for a cancellation, this is pretty good. This is not like Ikram Aliskerov stepping up to fight Whitaker. Like out of all the middleweights, you got Ikram. And middleweight doesn't have that many stars to get, I understand. Doesn't have that many, I want to say, like, people with star power. Like Alex Pereira, for example. I mean, to be fair, this is a title fight on short notice, so this is kind of different. Anyways, let me stop waffling about, Khamzat Chimaev. I just finished talking about that. But I think this is a very good replacement card. Very, very good. Title fight on short notice. Brian Ortega, Diego Lopes, and Carlos Ulberg still has a fight. Very good. Only thing I would change is remove Mayra Bueno Silva off that main card. Put either Joe Pyfer or Peyton Talbot. Probably Joe Pyfer. Why would they put Mayra Bueno Silva on the main card of this pay-per-view? I just don't understand it. But yeah, this is looking pretty good for just such a late cancellation. So big ups to the UFC. Big ups to all the guys who stepped in on short notice. I'm excited to see how it turns out. And those are my predictions. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.